Great answer. What steps can investors take to ensure that they select a reliable and trustworthy crowdfunding platform?
Again, due diligence. And Forbes has a really good list of the top 10 platform. You want to use reliability criteria, investor reviews, testimonials to assess platforms. Follow a checklist for thorough evaluation. Create your own list of boxes that this checks, and check it against, what you deem to be reliable. Uh, and if you seek advice from a professional, make sure it's a professional that has experience. Excuse me, that has experience with that. One of our investors is true story. He has an attorney that is a financial advisor also, but has never dealt with a Reg D 506C fund, private equity, or anything even related to that. And he calls me up and he says, "Well, this is the advice I got." And I was like, "Okay." Um, he says I should just invest in oil and gas and something else. And I says, "Well, where does that advice come from?" He says, "Well, he invested in it." I says, "Well, how does that work for you?" I'm talking to my investor, who's an 84-year-old gentleman. And I said, "How risky is that for you at 84 years old?" And he thought about it. He says, "Dr. Mann, you're right." So I says, at that age, if he is a lender to our fund, short term, 6 months to a year at a time, because of his, risk profile, based on his age. And he's like, "Well, maybe I'll go into a 5 or 10 year project." I says, "Well, it's up to you. However, I don't think that's viable for, 84 years old, that you go into a project for so long. You need more liquidity. And I think, you should stick with the 6 to 12 month stuff on a short term basis, whether it be our fund, whether it be first trust deed mortgage notes that you invest in and you get a monthly income or what have you, was my advice, unprofessional, unsolicited. Uh, I mean, not, giving legal advice or anything of that nature. Let me clarify that. Uh, what's the next question?
Oh, great. How does the potential return on investment in real estate crowdfunding compare to the stock market?
What could depend? So historical data to compare returns, noting different risk profiles. So real estate crowdfunding can hedge against stock market volatility depending on which sector of the real estate market that you're in. Some of it correlates, some of it does not. I would not be an investor in office space right now. Uh, I don't think in any markets, and I'm sure there are markets that office space is making a resurgence. However, the losses have been so great that I don't think that I'd be an investor in office space uh, right now. So we're in a Class C affordable housing space, a market that does not correlate to the stock market. Excuse me. So I believe that an investment needs to be geared towards something that doesn't correlate to the stock market. But in general, most real estate investments, or some, can hedge against stock market volatility. However, beware.
Great. What should new investors look for when choosing a real estate crowdfunding project?
Uh, well, you want to consider factors like what's the location, what's the property type, who's the management team, assess projected returns and risks, avoiding this helps avoid common mistakes by new investors. Don't get enamored with numbers. To kind of drill down into what the project is and just think about it in realistic terms. Okay, if they're investing in this apartment complex, what does that look like? So if say for example you live in uh, a metropolitan area where it's busy and there's a lot of demand, what type of property is it? What type of rents are they asking? What type of renovations are they making? And do they have a track record of success? And what experience do they have in that particular market?
Great. Thank you for that answer. So we're down to our last two questions here. Um, so How can investors leverage real estate crowdfunding to reduce their exposure to market volatility?
Hmm. So at real estate, so market volatility. Let me think about that. So you want to diversify to stabilize your portfolio so it perform well. It performs well during economic downturns compared to other investments. Conduct thorough research, educate yourself in the market, utilize recommended resources and tools for your first investment, and ask lots of questions and don't make hasty decisions.
Okay, great. And for our last question, Dr. Van, what advice would you give to someone considering their first investment in a real estate crowdfunding project?
Oh, thorough research, educate yourself, utilize recommended resources and tools for your first investment. Uh, and you can, and it's you can do it either in person, online, or both. I would suggest if you have a local real estate investment club or a meetup, there's lots of these meetups that meet once a month or twice a month. And I'd be, very careful there because you just want to educate yourself. Don't be pressured. Or people who are making a pitch. Sometimes some of these groups have folks that will make a pitch and hey, you need to invest right away. That should be an immediate turnoff. So it's educating, getting involved with investor communities that are sensible and like-minded. And as as people, you'll find a group that is a fit for you, and that makes sense.
Okay, great. Any closing remarks you want to make before we close this out today?
Uh, well, just like to say, when you have a chance, check out our offerings, proactiveimpactfund.com. Our other website is proactivefunds.com. We're excited to talk to you, partner with you, tell you about what we have that we're offering, what's coming up, our pipeline of properties, our successes, which we have quite a few. We recently engaged Morningstar Sustainalytics. We have a Morningstar Sustainalytics social impact report. So we're excited about that. We're also published on their platform and on our platform under affordable housing for Morningstar Sustainalytics social impact reports. It's the Proactive Realty Group, the Proactive Realty Income Funds, and Santander Bank. And that's it. And so I was kind of surprised by that. However, social impact and affordable housing doesn't seem to go together for a lot of groups. I know UMH is a true affordable housing group that's aligned. They have a social impact report. But that's it for my closing remarks. Any questions, reach out. We'll have information next week on when the book will be coming out. I have two books coming out, one on affordable housing and meaning, investing with meaning. The other book is on social impact investing. So look for that information, and I'll check back periodically. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Van. No questions from the audience. Then we will see you Monday at 12:30 for our next LinkedIn Live. Thank you and
Yes.
have a great day.
You as well. Thank you, sir. Happy Friday.